Welcome to another episode of Abigail on the Streets. And my question for today is, between landlords and agents, who do you think is the problem of rent increments currently in Nigeria? You think it's the landlord? Do you think it's the agent? So we are going to hear from the people what they have to say about this situation, and we'll get back to you.
Between landlord and agents, well, I won't say anyone is the problem because I would understand the landlord's part when they increase the rent because if you're in Nigeria, you're an agent in Nigeria, you're a landlord in Nigeria, you also live like with the with the Nigerian economy. So if the rent is your only source of income, the cost of things are increasing. So if the landlord choose to increase his rent, it's valid. Now you as an agent, if you can stay there, it's fine. You can also negotiate with the with the landlord. You can negotiate with the landlord. Okay. If you cannot afford the rent, then you just leave. So I understand the landlord's part, but then sometimes this landlord should have mercy on the agent. At least they should pity us more. I don't think agents have any say when it comes to rent. They can only you meet the agents when not the landlord.
Yes.
Then I think it's the two of them. It's the two of them. But the agents are the biggest culprits in this situation. Yeah. Because sometimes they can even increase rent without I think it's possible to increase rent without the landlord knowing. You just come with a tenant, the tenant pays to you, and let's say rent is 500,000. You tell the tenant that rent is 700,000. You take your 200 as an agent and give the landlord. So I think it's the agents more. Yes, yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, when it comes to increments of rent, that's actually from the landlord. Now there's a fee that agents normally collect. I don't know, the first one, if I'm not mistaken, is that if you need to survey, if you need to scout for houses, they do it for you. So they are collecting that fee. Now what's the whole idea? This is how it works. You need house, you need a place to stay, and then the agent is the middleman to connect you to houses. Now who are the owners of these houses? Those are the landlords. Now the agent's job is to connect you to the landlord, house to money. That's you bringing money for house, then money, house for money, money for house. So at the end of the day, when this increment comes up, it's the landlord. You know why I said so? There's a contract you sign. Yes, when you're getting an apartment, there's a contract you sign. Now in that contract, the landlord has literally given you the breakdown of everything. Sometimes there are rules and regulations telling you that you have to clean your surroundings and blah blah blah, and then other times you have a situation whereas the water bill, the light bill, people who come to clean, that's if you guys, the tenant, won't be doing it yourself, and all those other stuff, it's in that contract. Now those fees are there. For some landlords, I think a year. Some will tell you have to pay for a year, some will tell you have to pay for 2 years, depends. Now here's what they do. The landlords are the one who increase the money. Now people will be like, okay, you have to pay agents, for agent to collect this, agent to collect that, agent collect this. Yes, they'll collect those pays, but you know that you're not going to be paying whatever you're adding with your rent and the agent's fee the next year.
Yes.
It's just that one time. That one time that you're paying agent's fee.
So have you heard of situation whereby landlord will say, okay, my rent is, this house is going for 600k, but agents will just raise it up to 800k, 850, 750, and the rest?
In that kind of scenario, it's when the person, I have to somehow blame the person. Now, like I explained earlier on, the agent brings it to the houses, agent brings it to the landlord. Now, when you get to that place, you would still see the landlord. Yes. So now you know your rents. That's why I told you there is a contract that you sign. In that contract, everything is stipulated that this is the amount for this and that. Then there's the agent fee. Sometimes you could also pay the agent for the transport. You could pay the agent for, it depends. You have to work it out with the agents.
So what do you have to say about the way people are suffering for rent increments now? Do you know people are actually suffering for rent increments?
I'm aware. Rent increment is the landlord's fault. you see that sometimes the landlord could almost evict you, saying suddenly he'll just tell you he's increasing money for his rent.
Okay, if I get the question correctly, let me reiterate it. You mean increment on rent? That's subsequent increment on rent, right? So if you are talking about the subsequent increment on rent, it is not in the place of the agent. That same increment is not in the place of the agent, but in the place of the landlord. For whatever reason, he may want to increase his house rent. So, however, if we are to go back to first payment, you getting the house by or from the agent to pay for the first time. So that particular increment, that exorbitant amount on the house rent, the initial agreed, let's say a house of 600,000, one agent might tell you 800,000, 850, 650, 700, 750, whatsoever agreed amount, whatsoever desired amount they want to pay, because they want to have something from that particular. That's how they get their own commissions most often. So that's what I feel on my own end.
So what do you think the agent should do if you were to advise in this situation?
Well, in this kind of situation, I would rather say we let greed aside, because I understand the whole country is a mess, but when we remove greed, heart desire out of it, growth comes gradual, success comes gradual, and whatsoever you make out of clean heart, out of clean spirit, you understand that there is a way it builds you. You would even know the value of what you get than the one you used greed to get. If you use greed, go get money, go pressure somebody. Because if you are telling me 800,000 and my initial budget is 600,000, I will be under pressure. By all means, I would want to pay. So it's coming from my hard-earned sweat, me paying that, while you used greed to just get that money out of me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe at Eagles FM Abuja for more interesting episodes of Abigail Ebute on the Street. Bye.